let's get into some drag slash homosexual news. And let's talk about Bob the Drag Queen, who we mentioned the other day had Purse First Studios, which I was like, that came out before we even knew she was launching a production. I was like, oh, real Bob got a production company because we had talked about Peppermint has a documentary coming out that's being produced by Elliot Page. So when I was going through the list of people that was going to be producing it as well, we saw that it said Bob the Drag Queen via Purse First Studios. So they kind of spilled that tea before Bob actually came out and stated that they were launching their own production company. So exclusively, I guess Variety had the go ahead to even release this report and stated that basically Drag Race icon and New York Times bestselling author Bob the Drag Queen has taken matters into their own hands by launching Purse First Studios, a creative production company with a variety of forthcoming projects like none you've seen before. The first project from the company is The Big Question, an interview show hosted by Bob featuring friends, colleagues, fellow comedians, and even strangers. The premiere episode tackled Why Do Black People Hate Musicals? Wait, Black people hate musicals? Was it that they so damn expensive? Black people feel like they can't afford to go to one. I mean, I like musicals. I like going to Broadway musicals. As far as like watching musicals in a movie musical, it takes a lot for me to watch that. It took a lot for me to sit down and watch Wicked Part 1. And I definitely want to see Kiss of the Spider Woman because that looks really good. But for the most part, I'm not like into the cinematic musical stuff. I actually prefer to go to a Broadway musical because I have a good time when I go. So they said Purse First Studios will soon launch Back in My Day, where the mic will be handed to queer elders for them to share and reflect on their lives, the evolution of queer culture, and what things were like back in their day, which I actually think is a really good idea because I always feel like a lot of our gay elders don't really get the recognition they deserve. And I'm not a gay elder by no means, but a lot of times because as a person that grew up coming up in the scene, in the entertainment club scene, whatever you want to call it, in the 2000s, I always like to share my little nostalgic moments on this show and pass down a lot of the knowledge that I learned from the elder gays that entered and helped me with navigating myself through this world, this wild, wild west of homosexuality. So I try to pass down all the things I learned. And I do like this because I always feel like the older people are overlooked. And if you have somebody like a Bob the Drag Queen who's going to give them a platform, I think that's a great idea. Now, I'm wondering if this is all just going to be like YouTube type stuff, or is it going to end up like on a streaming service or whatever the case is. I guess we'll find out when they release it. But oh yeah, so we have the Back in My Day. Then they said Purse First Studios also has the basic projects coming up. Bob said in a statement Thursday, I lived so much of my career in front of the camera. Now I want to show you what I can do behind the scenes as well. Now, additional launches coming soon include exclusive stand-up specials, weekly podcasts, a morning show, a pop culture roundup, as well as live events and much more. Now, since winning RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8, Bob has starred in film and television projects, including We're Here on HBO, NBC's The Traitors, created award-winning podcast Sibling Rivalry with his drag sister Monet Exchange, who's currently filming The Traitors, and most recently released his New York Times bestselling debut novel, Harriet Tubman Live in Concert. And he also spoke about Purse First YouTube page earlier this week in a TikTok video, saying this is going to be a place where the GGs and the Ts, the girls, the gays, and the theys can get together, hang out, and have fun. It's a place where you can enjoy content that is made for queer audiences by queer people. It's going to be fun. So basically, I guess that answers our question, is that Purse First Studios, a lot of the content is going to end up on the Purse First YouTube page, which I definitely will be subscribing to that so I can see a lot of content because I think it's similar to, when you have Mom, which is like Wow and Verse, which is, I believe, Willem and Alaska and them, they pretty much have like their own little thing where a lot of the people have podcasts and it's a part of Mom and they have their own little channel. And I guess it's like, you know what? This is the future. It's like if you're going to be producing, putting your money behind projects, you can create a YouTube channel where people can go and see all these different content on there. And I would definitely love to collaborate with, and I'm putting out a universe. I've encountered Bob in the past. I've even interviewed him for my old website, and I'm so pissed as to this day that I lost that interview because I lost that channel. for many other reasons, whatever. But that interview was on there. And this is around the time that he won season 8 that I got to interview him. But I would love to be a part of this in some sort of way and even collab with Bob on an idea, whatever the case is, because one of the things I definitely got me excited reading about what he's got coming up is, or does Bob go by they them pronouns? I don't know. Sometimes, I don't be wanting to be offensive with the pronouns and the gender identity, all of that stuff. But when you sit to me and saying that, like, well, whatever the week, everybody's gonna have their little weekly podcast situation, but a morning show and a pop culture roundup and that stuff, I do love my pop culture and I love my drag and my drag girls and the pop culture girls when you coincide with that. So I would love to see a queer-based morning show. I've been saying that for the longest. Why? Even this, remember they did ideas like this on Drag Race. I was like, I would love to see them do a panel show that would be like The View. I'm just using that as an example because the overall aesthetic of The View, but with drag queens. And they tackle things that's going on, queer stuff that's going on in the community. You have a celebrity, you have gay guests or LGBT celebrities come on and you interview them. Look, this is my idea and I'm giving it out. I'm putting it out there. And just drag queens up there doing, the pop culture, the hot topics, all that stuff, but also talk about things that pertain to our community, what's going on in there, because other people aren't going to be doing it. So why don't we be the change we want to see? So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Bob is coming out, because we don't really see, especially a lot of queer people of color who are creating a lot of these amazing opportunities. So I'm glad that Bob is the one that has taken the initiative, who has crossed over, who has encountered many of big A-listers and is able to get in a position where they can produce and create content to move the needle forward, because that's always been a dream of mine. It's like, yeah, I like being on camera and I like being the life of the party and I love to entertain, but I also want to be that person down the road that wants to be able to launch my own production company and create content and give other people an opportunity to have their moment in the spotlight, because I don't want to be doing the camera thing forever. I would love to just be like, you know what? I get to give my point of view, but also I get to pass the torch and give the opportunity to other people to be talent and to have their dreams come true as well. So usually when I put things out in the universe, it happens. Especially as like if I mean it and I'm not BSing y'all. So congratulations, Bob. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you're going to be bringing with this project. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? This is something that you guys are looking forward to, especially with giving us an idea of some of the projects that they have in the works. I'm looking forward to whatever it is that Bob has coming. And I'll definitely be checking out Purse First, the YouTube channel, and all the projects that's going to be coming up over there. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.